And I don't know how this came to me, but empath, like the literature around empaths I came across them and I'm like, oh my God, am I an empath? That sounds like really superhuman and weird and like ghost-like, like what's happening, right? Like the word is very like ephemeral, like, oh. Um, and then in that same sphere of deep diving into what are empaths, how are they able to feel other people's feelings? Like, what is this? This sounds really bizarre. I happened upon this term called HSP, highly sensitive people. And boom, I felt like I got the key. It explained a lot. It explained my childhood, it explained why I was such a quiet child. I grew up outside the house. I would constantly be with the plants and the animals, and I would not like human contact too much, right? It explained my school. It explained how none of this made sense. Scientifically, in the community, it is called sensory perceptive sensitivity, or sensory processing sensitivity, SPS, but I'm going to use HSP because I feel it just makes a little more sense. All my life, I've been called sensitive, and in a way that means, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you being so sensitive? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why can't you come outside? Like, why does it take you so much time to just commit to a social outing? Or what is wrong with you? Like, why can't you work in an open layout office? Like, why are you so distracted? These are questions not necessarily other people asking me. I was also asking myself with a lot of harshness. Like, what is wrong with me? Like, why am I not able to go and like go to a marriage like other people do? Like, living in India, it's a very, very difficult place to be a highly sensitive person. I realize now, and I'm like, whoa, it made a lot of sense that I got to go to Cambodia, and the 5.5 years was this quiet cocoon. The pandemic came, and the pandemic allowed me to stay in my house, and I finally felt my own energy because there was so much time between human contact. I could actually just kind of slowly just release what was not mine, what was other people's, blah, blah, blah. And suddenly there was so much peace and there was so much calm, and I'm like, oh my God, I love it. Like, I can go from, I think I even went for a month without stepping outside the house. I went for like 10, 15 days without talking. And it really did feel like a coming home. And I'm so grateful because it taught me my own rhythm finally. It taught me that I needed to sleep a lot more. So I prioritize my sleep like 100%. My friends will joke. They'll be like, yeah, for Deeptha, sleep comes first, friends come next, right? Like and it is true. So I think HSP, which is a biological trait, so it's not a diagnosis, right? It's where people have been, there's this neuroscientist, I forget her name, Bianca something. She basically did, again, these functional MRI scans, and she was able to see that the nervous system for HSPs, who make about 20 to 30% of the population, it's more sensitive. It picks up a lot more information, right? So there is this very helpful acronym, which is DOES, which are the pillars of the key traits of HSPs. Is D is depth of processing. So HSPs will be deep thinkers. They like to kind of weigh every single option. They don't like to be rushed. So they really go deep into a single, like I will read a book and I'll read the first time and boom, I've gone off somewhere. And same thing with like YouTube videos. They'll say something, I'm like, oh my God, there's like a universe in there, right? And so there's D, and then there's O. Is the most talked about aspect of HSP is overwhelm, overstimulation. And this makes sense because I told you, like, we are such deep thinkers, we can build an entire constellation from just one glimmer of light, right? So there is a tendency to feel and get overstimulated because we're taking in so much. E is empathy or emotional sensitivity and reactivity. There is this concept of having mirror neurons. Mirror neurons are in our prefrontal cortex, and it helps us attune to others. So all mammals have them, and HSPs have more mirror neurons. So this is how attunement so quickly happens. So there is a deep sense of empathy. And you can imagine, like, when surrounded by anyone suffering, it doesn't matter if it's a stranger or a loved one, empaths will feel not only their emotions deeply, like HSPs will also feel other people's emotions inside them, and that's painful. And then finally, S is sensory sensitivity, or we sense things. So what happens is with HSPs, I have a friend like this. So she is hypersensitive to smell. So she can smell things I can't. My nose doesn't work that well. Growing up in India, we need that. Like 30% is gone. I'm like, yeah, that works. But for her, she'd walk into a hotel room and she'd be like, oh my God. She'll turn around, she's like, this won't do, this won't do, this smells. I'd be like, okay, I don't know what that is. And in my head, I'd be judging her. I'd be like, what's up with her? Like, why is she being like that? And then I started reading, when I started getting into the HSP literature, I was like, oh my God, yeah. So she has her olfactory sense is highly sensitive. It picks up what others don't. Like touch, clothes, zippers, labels, these things can really agitate HSPs more than other people. And I think what I would like to say is we could consider them like HSPs as like those, the canaries that they would send into the coal mines to sense whether it is safe, because they will pick up the lack of oxygen the fastest, right? And so they can save lives. So I think for me, finding out about HSPs, and I found it actually not through the book, that Dr. Elaine Aron, she's like the pioneer in HSP work. She's a psychologist. I haven't actually even read the book. I bang on found this summit where all of these experts for 3 days or 5 days or something, nonstop, HSPs themselves were talking about the gifts, the superpowers. How do you reclaim your power back in a society or in a community where sensitivity is kind of laughed at? And they're like, oh my God, you need to be stronger or buck up. So for me, HSP, that language really clicked because it was empowering, also because how it was introduced to me. I think I really am grateful for these experts who showed me that this is a gift, right? And I think it gently nudged me towards the therapeutic space because I am deeply empathetic. I can attune so quickly that I know what's happening with my clients. I know what's happening in a room and what they might need much faster. Now, because it's a healing space, I also have an ability to kind of navigate that and help people find calm or peace and all of that. So it gives me control of the pain that I'm feeling, right, in some ways, or it gives me control of the pain that I'm witnessing. There is relief there is empowerment there. But I used to work in the development space. I used to work in rural poverty and nutrition and education and really, really hard things. We are not going to see change in our lifetime. So constantly witnessing that kind of pain, absolute drain, right? Like, it's not surprising that every field visit or a single conversation with a farmer or a woman or a child just seeing like a government school would just break my heart. And for other people, yeah, they would get affected, but not as much. But I would be carrying it for so long. It would still be with me. It would still be with me. And I kept wondering, like, what is this? Why am I not able to let this go? Why am I letting the world affect me so deeply?